Welcome back to Discovering an Educated Life. This is Megan, and today I'm going to be sharing with you our curriculum reveal for 2021-2022 school year for 4th grade. I'm just going to go through and share the resources. I'm not going to dig into all of them. I'm just going to show you what they are. We have not done an end of the year video yet because we haven't finished the year. So be waiting for that. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. Because I'll go into that in a second. So don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ding the bell to stay up to date on what's going on in our life, our homeschool, what books we're reading. I have a lot of book hauls coming up because I've bought a lot of books and I'm going to share a lot of books with you today. So don't forget to ding that bell. So first, as I said, I haven't finished this school year. So we've been doing Adventures in U.S. History this year. And in that, we are currently on week 22, and my goal is in the next 2 weeks, we're going on vacation in a couple weeks, and around the time we get back, I want to hit pause, do a quick summer break, obviously for vacation, and then after that, for the 4th of July, we're planning to take a 2 to 3 week summer break, just for those things. And I want to get through week 24 of this. And the reason I'm telling you that, I know this is a curriculum reveal, is because when we come back to school at the end of July, we're going to be in this again, but we're going to call it 4th grade. So what that's going to look like is some of those grade leveled subjects like math and language arts and things, we're going to start tacking on some of that 4th grade level work, but still continue through our U.S. history as our core for like just finishing off what we were learning in there. So I just wanted to say that. And so my goal is, with all of this I'm showing you, some of this will start in July, but the majority of this, specifically our core and a lot of the read alouds and things like that, will not start until late October. That's my goal, is that by late October we're into some new subject matter and not American history anymore, because we have been on that for a while. So without further ado, this is my shiny new curriculum, Exploring Countries and Cultures. We went back and forth. I've had about 1 million things sitting in front of me this year. I've sent things back. I've sent this back once and decided to repurchase it. And so I also have some things I'm going to be using alongside it. Now, I don't have all of the resources I plan on using sitting here in front of me, just the ones I've already purchased and that I know I want to use. And as we get closer, I will be digging through the book list. I will be going through lots of different blogs I have saved, printing off resources, and I will share a lot of what I'm doing with you when it comes time. But for now, I just want to show you this is what we'll be using. I'm not doing a flip through or anything like that. I'm just going to be going through the resources today. So this is the parent and teacher supplement that it has blank maps. It has a Chinese checkers and geography game, all of that. This is like the teacher sheets that you need to go along with the child sheets here, which is this thick stack of sheets. And this has, like, kind of shows you, these are the kind of things that are going to be in here, all the student sheets to put in everything. It has the notebook pages with maps, the science pages, there are worksheets for properties of ecosystems. There's the geography game, full color continent maps and game pieces, and you can't copy this, so if you have more than one child, you'll need one for each. I only have one child I'm doing this with as a 4th grader, so all of that. Now, this is not something that came with this. This is something I planned on purchasing anyways. I ended up finding it at the thrift store last year, and it's what your 4th grader needs to know. This honestly may go in her book basket. I will read this over the summer, and I've done these in the past in book basket time, and there's always a lot of information, and I noticed this one is perfect because it has a ton of information for this year, so I'm sharing that. This book, thrift store sticker, we've had this for a long time, probably about 1st grade I think I got this book, and it's K-5, and I will be utilizing this again this year. It just has all kinds of resources for holidays. So this is a holiday resource I use every year. again, I'm going to be getting to more of that bulky curriculum I have going on here, but I want to show you what I have. So I know I have a 4th grader, but I like to do this down a level, the brain quest we're doing. We did a lot of grade 2 this year, so I picked just to do grade 3 because it's review. This is review for us. Whenever I use these, I like it to be things that are review for her. So I'm not going to show you everything in here, but I didn't want to go up to 4th and it be new material. That just didn't make sense to me. So I also picked this up, and I didn't think about it, but this is grade 3 to 4, like going into 4th grade. So this is more to do after this. So I'm just gonna put both these on the shelf and assign things from them as I find necessary this year. I'm not going to, these are not like our core curriculum. These are resources I use for review as needed. She will not do everything in those books though, I will tell you that. So I'm trying to see what's next. So that's the things I would say are like I'm basing our year around, those things. Now that's not math, it's not everything, but I use those resources I just showed you to kind of form our year and how I'm gonna do things and how I'm gonna teach. So first I think I'm gonna dig into kind of like our extras, because I showed you some of that core and I have my extra sitting here in front of me. So some of the extras I'll be using for art, I picked these Usborne cards up, famous paintings, and I also have a couple other Usborne art books I'll be throwing into my art schedule. I did not put all that in front of me. Again, I'm going to do a more thorough video of each subject when we start them. We Sing Around the World. This came with the Exploring Countries and Cultures, and it's just going to be all kinds of different songs from different countries and cultures. I mean, it's that simple what that is. I picked these books. There's 2 of them. They're the same exact thing. They're calligraphy books up, and this is going to be part of our art for next year, and my daughter and I are going to do them together. That's why I picked up 2 of them. Global art is what we will be doing as our main art curriculum with Exploring Countries and Cultures. And I also I also will be trying to work through the rest of I Can Do All Things. I don't even know if we'll work through all of it, but I know we will not finish this year. I don't even know if we'll finish it in 4th grade, but my plan is to do it 2 days a week. This is usually only scheduled once a week, global art. Now you could always like continue working on projects from it, but these are more like art and craft projects, and this is more like painting and color pencils and marker work and art for the sake of like learning how to do color theory and things like that. So this book I will continue. This won't stop just because we go into a new year. And the way this works is we'll do drawing one week, colored pencils the next week, then we do markers and then painting, and I'll just continue that pattern but 2 days a week instead of 4 days a week or 3 days a week like we do it now. This big giant sketchbook is actually going to be mine. I like to do notebooking, and I like to do a lot of the art and things alongside my daughter, and I needed something like this year. I had one of these in 1st grade as a Bible book that I did with her when she was doing her Bible and reading curriculum and we were doing narrations, and so I wanted something that was just very open-ended. So this is just a big sketchbook that I can use alongside her. So that is everything I've got for art, I believe. Next I'll share with you what we're going to be doing for Bible. So for Bible, we're going to be just following the schedule of the Exploring Countries and Cultures. Sorry, I'm grabbing that out. So we'll just be following the schedule, and that's going to have us reading the entire book of Matthew. Now on their or on the Facebook group, I believe it is, there is a schedule, not a schedule because the schedule's in here, but a like guide to the book of Matthew. I'm going to print off, I think it's about 300 and some pages, but it's in the files to the Facebook group. And so I plan on printing that off to use alongside. My daughter will continue doing Awana. And then these books are mission studies. This is Window on the World and Operation World Prayer Resource. We'll be using this. God Speaks Numengang. This is by David Hazel, the creator of My Father's World. We'll be using Hero Tales by David and Netta Jackson, and this looks like it has some questions and things. I'm not sure, I haven't used it yet. And then I also picked up The Ology, Ancient Truths Ever New by Marty Mcnally. And we did a tour at Southern Seminary for my husband, and I picked this up while we were there. My daughter wanted it. So we're gonna incorporate this into just like a devotional reading time next year as well. Okay, so that's everything for Bible, which is actually a lot for our Bible curriculum for next year. See my new Michigan mug? My brother and his fiance just got back from Mackinac Island and Sleeping Bear Dunes and Traverse City and everything up there, and brought me back this mug. I decided to drink out of it today. Okay, so for readers, I'm thinking I'll just kind of dig into language arts now. For the readers for next year, I actually purchased all of grade 4 readers from Sunlight. Now, I did not yet get a guide to those, and I don't even know if I'm going to, or a schedule or guide. I may. I've been debating back and forth. I saw the schedule was like $12 or something, but I could just buy the language arts curriculum for, I think it said $50. And I've been going back and forth, but I won't be starting that until the end of July when we go back next year, because she has read her readers for 3rd grade from Sunlight, and I think she has one left, and we'll be finishing that up. So she will read more than these. I don't even know if she'll finish all of these. I just know that we plan on doing these and probably some more, if that makes sense. This is like our plan, what I have sitting here, but I'm also going to be using that book list in the back of Exploring Countries and Cultures, and so sometimes one of these might get subbed out for something else, which tends to happen, or I sometimes add one. That's just how we do things. So I'm just going to quickly tell you the titles. Sid Fleshman McBroom's Wonderful One-Acre Farm. It's a very thin reader. Toothpaste Millionaire. B is for Betsy. Frindle, that's Andrew Clements. Beverly Cleary, Ralph S. Mouse. Escape from Mr. Limoncello's Library, that's a much thicker one, by Chris Grabenstein, I think. Betsy and Tacy Go Over the Big Hill, by Maud Hart Lovelace, and I actually have Betsy and Tacy up on the shelf upstairs, so I think I might encourage her to read that as a summer reader, or just a like free book for the summer. The Children of Noisy Village by Astrid Lindgren. This one's going to be great because we read Happy Times in Noisy Village this year, and Pippi Longstocking. That's one of her new favorite authors. Encyclopedia Brown. We've already read this. We won't read it again. I might get the next one, or I'll probably just be one of the ones I skip. The King's Equal by Catherine Patterson. More Stories from Grandma's Attic by Arleta Richardson, and we will be reading Stories from Grandma's Attic at the end of this year. Emily's Runaway Imagination by Beverly Cleary, one of Abby's favorite authors. Margaret Henry Mustang Wild Spirit of the West, and that's the author of Misty of Chincoteague, and that's where we're actually going on vacation, is Chincoteague. Then we're reading that one right now. That was part of this, but I decided to read it early since we're going there. The Whipping Boy, Sid Fleshman. Socks by Beverly Cleary. Lumber Camp Library by Natalie Kinsey Warnock. This is a Junior World Explorers Marco Polo. Then A Llama and the Family by Johanna Hurwitz. Henry and Ribsy by Beverly Cleary. and Ginger Pie. That's another really thick one by Eleanor Estes. So that's just her readers. Now I have some read alouds sitting here that I will be reading to her. I'll share those in a second, but I also wanted to note I did purchase Sunlight read alouds for Core C because we had completed most of Core B and the read alouds, and we've completed almost all the read alouds. We have a few of those left, and I didn't share any of those today, and I'll tell you why. It's because I don't know what we're actually planning to read in the order, and I will organize that in a better fashion once we get closer, and I don't know that we'll read all of them next year. Some of those from that stack may even get pushed to 5th grade or become summer readers or become read alouds or readers for Abby instead of read alouds. And we will also be continuing with our read aloud revival into next year. So I'm not sharing those even though I know they're going to get read. I'm just not sharing them as a 4th grade curriculum reveal, even though I purchased them all. So as far as language arts curriculum goes, I'm going to start sharing that. We have daily word ladders. I actually picked this up at a local school supply store, and they look like a really fun vocabulary program. It's not even a program. They're just reproducible sheets that look fun to build on spelling, vocabulary, reading, phonics skills. She doesn't need phonics, but this isn't really phonics in that sense. It's more of like spelling patterns and vocabulary. And so I think these would be fun just to do sometimes as like a morning time thing. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think, they're not going to be an everyday thing for sure. I just picked it up on clearance and I thought it looked like something that she would actually enjoy doing. So on the note of vocabulary, the only other thing that I have, I did pick up a couple of like words to know, thesaurus type things for her book basket. I'm not sharing those because they're not really curriculum. I'll share those when we start next year and we talk more specifically about subjects. But I did pick up Word Roots Beginning, the Critical Thinking Company, and I've actually had this on the shelf for a little bit. And this is not something that will get done every day, but I think it will help her in vocabulary and building on word roots. Okay, so next on that note, I have Wipe Clean Spelling. These are Usborne Wipe Clean books. They're in her grade level. And this is something, again, I like to do sometimes in the morning. These are things that I like to give her like to start the day. Something like this spelling is good for that. Or this is grammar and punctuation. So it's things like capitalization, periods, paragraphs, things she can practice and work on and they wipe clean so she can reuse them. Or they could be reused with another kid, like if I pass them on to like a cousin or something. So I thought those would be good for like a morning time thing. All right. For handwriting, we will continue handwriting, a reason for handwriting. So this one, you'll notice there's a big chunk missing. That big chunk is what we did this year and I had it bound. The thing I will change for next year's. So all I'm doing, this part was like a practice part in the beginning, like review of manuscript. Then there were these transition lessons in the middle, and then there's this section of cursive lessons. We did not get to these this year, which is what I anticipated. We will probably complete most of the transition lessons. So my intention is to then start these, and I'm going to rip all these out just like I did with the ones from last year and have them bound. But what I'm going to do different is I'm going to have them bound from the top, because I should have done that, because when she's writing, she's running into that spiral binding. So that's what we're doing for handwriting. And I also picked up this cursive writing practice jokes and riddles, which is totally up my daughter's alley. And you create these little booklets. I'm trying to see if there's one that has a front cover. So there's all these different ones you practice, and then there's like, they're just little like joke book type of things, and you write the jokes out. So I thought she would really enjoy those. That's all of her actual handwriting for next year. I will be doing copy work with her and dictation, and I will probably just select things from the stack of readers, and I will do a weekly copy work and dictation that I will pick, but that's not something I have sitting here. Her spelling curriculum, we're continuing with Rodden's Staff. This is a much thicker book with a lot more content than last year. It was a little intimidating when I first looked at it, but she's in 4th grade now. So she will be completely done by the time we go on vacation or right around then with our grade 3 spelling by sound and structure. So this is the next step for her in that. So if you've been following me, you'll know that this year we were doing language lessons for today, grade 2. About halfway through the year, 3/4 of the way through the year, we transitioned to grade 3. Even though she was a 3rd grader all year, I wanted to give her a strong foundation, so we just started where we left off with grade 2 before. And so she just turned 9. I don't think it's inappropriate to continue with grade 3. So we will just be continuing with this when we pick up next year with language arts until she finishes it, and then we'll move on to grade 4. And I don't have grade 4 sitting here because I will just purchase it, probably used whenever we get to that, because those are not, you don't write in those. So for writing also, I have daily 6th trait writing, grade 3 again, and she's about halfway through this. And we didn't do it every day. We did a lot of free writing assignments. I gave her writing prompts. We did other things. So we didn't use this every week this year. And we're just going to continue using this same grade level because she is a young 4th grader. She just turned 9. So most of the year next year, almost the entire thing, she's going to be 9. So I'm just continuing with daily 6th trait writing. I'm not a super big fan of grade levels anyways. If this is where she's at, we're just going to keep working. I'm not going to buy grade 4 just because it says grade 4. And then also, I picked up these. They're called Caption This. This is from Oriental Trading Company, and it's Celebrations Around the World photo card. So briefly, I will show you. There will be a large card, and on the back, it will have some discussion questions and things about the event. And then I will have her talk about the different things we're seeing, and then I'm gonna have her do some writing assignments based off of those. That's gonna be part of her curriculum for next year. So then the last thing for language arts besides the read alouds is gonna be Grammar Galaxy. This is brand new to us. We're starting with Nebula. She really wanted to do this. We watched a bunch of videos about different language arts curriculums, and one thing that she seems a little behind on sometimes is grammar. I wanted to introduce it in a super fun way, and I wouldn't even say behind, because she knows like nouns and verbs and things that sometimes like certain things might confuse her. And this just looks like a really fun way. You read a chapter and then you do an assignment from the mission manual. So that will be her grammar for 4th grade. All right, read aloud time, guys. I know this is a lot, guys. I'm trying to dig through these and show you what we'll be using quickly. So for math, we are continuing Singapore. That's the teacher's guide. I purchased those from Sunlight. It's gonna be 3A and 3B. So, I don't know if we will jump right into 3A or 3, wherever 3A is. That's also 3B, 3A. I don't know that we'll go right into that. We may still be on 2B. I'm planning on using that over the summer as much as we want to do, because we're only taking like a 3-week break. So when we go back in July, I may have her do like some assignments even during that break, just in math. I'm not doing anything else. But when we go back in July, I don't think she's gonna be done with the 2B. I'm hoping by the time we start into the exploring countries and cultures, I'm hoping at that point by the end of October to be able to dig into 3A. I want her to take her time though and make sure she fully understands it more than I want her to just get through it. So I am taking my time. And we've taken a lot of breaks this year. not breaks from math, but breaks from Singapore, and went over and used like some Spectrum workbooks and things to practice. And she's done a lot of online practice on days that like I felt like she needed more in a certain area. I would get on, find a game for her to play online, or do like, she does extramath.com as well. So she'll be continuing that next year also. Something else, she likes Life of Fred. These are some of the younger, the cats and dogs again, but this is where she is. She's done Apples and Butterflies, I think it is. So I just grabbed the next 2 for us to work through, and we do these very slow. I may even use one of these over the summer break with her because she really does like those a lot. And then these came with the Sunlight Singapore, the multiplication and division practice. And then these came with the Exploring Countries and Cultures, because you're supposed to do like daily math practice. So there's sheets for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and you just like lay these down on your notebook paper. And so every day we'll be like switching between doing that, doing these, doing extramath.com. We won't do all of them every day, just whatever I feel like. I also have this book. I grabbed this Usborne Times Tables. It's a practice pad. So she will be doing that next year. I also grabbed this multiplication and division activity book from Usborne, and this graphs and charts activity book, and she will be doing all of those as well as we do practice time. So that's all the math. It's not a lot. I assume like most people don't even have that much. It's a pretty significant amount. So something else I picked up. So if you know anything about Exploring Countries and Cultures, you probably know that you're going to be doing like biomes and ecosystems and things for next year. So I grabbed, this was a kit, this kit from Oriental Trading Company, and in it there are like popsicle sticks, there's pom-poms. I don't even want to take this out. There's a bunch of yarn and stuff down in there. There are tons of little zoo animals, wine corks. It came with clothespins, and then it came with a large stack of cards. So these are all going to be STEM-based science things, like build a pool for the hippos, build a rock space for the lions to sunbathe. So all of these things are going to be like STEM activities, and I will do those like once a week or so, or I will pick ones to go with animals we're studying and things we're doing at the zoo. Because that's another part of our curriculum this year, is I will be doing a zoo membership and probably going to the zoo once every 2 weeks, bare minimum. That's our plan, just based off of what we're learning this year. So something else I picked up are these huge, this is animal attributes, cards, and pocket chart. And so I have this big giant pocket chart that came with this. I don't have it sitting here, but instead of doing the workbook, like the complete book of animals, I didn't know that that was necessary for my daughter, and I didn't know how into it she would be. So I chose to do these things instead from Oriental Trading Company. And I know it said that was for like 2nd and 3rd graders, but I think she would have really liked it. She loves animals. So there's tons of these cards, and then it tells you the things about it. And then you have to go to the pocket chart. You put that card in the pocket chart, and then you fill it in with these things. So we will do like a different animal each week, probably based off of the area we're studying, maybe twice a week even, but there are hundreds of these cards. Like I can't even pull them. This is not even all of them. Like I can't even get them all out. And they're just real pictures of things from nature. It's like upside down. All right, so I will be doing those with her for science this year. And then again, like I said, I didn't think it was necessary to get that complete book of animals, so I picked up this instead. What's this company? Funschooling.com. I grabbed Thinking Tree Books, and this is a field trip journal for the zoo, and they're super like just open-ended. It will have an animal sometimes, and some of them are blank, but you can easily paste over this, and then it just has like basic information for you to put about that animal. And so I plan on pairing this with the STEM kit and the zoo trips and the animal attributes to have a really hands-on science next year. The main science that comes with Exploring Countries and Cultures is Properties of Ecosystems. It is a textbook. A lot of people said it looked dry. In my opinion, my daughter didn't think so, and I don't really think so either. I can see, especially if you have somebody that's not reading super well yet, or just not interested maybe in these topics, why you would think it was dry, but she was like super excited about this book. So I think that for her, it's gonna be good. And then Living World Encyclopedia, she loves books like this anyways. Her other science book. And then it came with, I have the deluxe package here. It came with the Great Animal Search, which will be fun to do as we study different ecosystems and habitats. One last thing for science that I do want to note, well, two things. First is, I do have this giant science resource book, and I will probably utilize this next year as well as I did this year. It's grades 1 to 6. I'm sure there are lots of things in here that we will find to use. The other thing is, she's probably going to take the class I'm doing at co-op next year, which is going to be an art science class where we're going to do like pendulum painting and just volcanoes, like building them with clay and some fun things like that. I have a big list, and she's gonna do that, so I feel like she's gonna get that lab in there. So the last subject I have sitting here is going to be our geography, and that's history/geography, but there's really not a lot of history. We will get history from books we read this year, and as we read about different cultures, we'll learn some of their history, but we're not studying history in any chronological way or for just the sake of history, but we will get it throughout the geography. So it came with a globe. We have more than one of these already, and we have a big globe downstairs too. It came with a passport for the year. I picked this up. It's called My Travel Journal, and she's gonna be using this to do some notebooking alongside the curriculum as we travel. This I already had on hand, and we started to use it in first grade, and I think we will probably use this again, the geography songs. I also picked this complete book of maps and geography up. We will not be using all of this, but I will be utilizing some things in it. Where I think some of the things maybe in the other books might be a little too challenging for her as a 4th grader, I may pull from this, and that's the whole reason I bought it. And I will let you know that as we start doing it. This came with the deluxe package. It's kind of more classified as an art, I guess, but it was in the list with geography, and it's just origami projects we're gonna do. It came with our Exploring Countries and Cultures. Then I actually picked this up at the thrift store for 49 cents. See these thrift store deals, guys. But Geography Through Art, International Art Projects for Kids, and there's a cookbook it recommends that I will be ordering if I don't find it at the thrift store. And I will be supplementing maybe some of those art projects from Global Art with these, and be like just working that in how I see fit. Then I plan on utilizing, I've used some of these already in the past, both Charlotte Mason's elementary geography and CC Long's home geography for primary grades. There are a lot of good lessons in here, and as we come across topics we're studying, I plan on pulling from these. Those are ones I've had bound forever. I also picked up these cards from Oriental Trading Company, because they go along with the geography from A to Z and our vocabulary words. So I'm gonna hang up the ones that are our current vocabulary words on the wall as we're working through those. There's a world wall map that's frameable. I will be framing this and putting it somewhere in the house for us to see. Flags of the World sticker book. That's what it sounds like. Maps and flags from around the world as we're studying. This is the geography from A to Z that we will be pulling those geography words from. This is the Exploring World Geography book. This is the one I was a little concerned about being excessive for my 4th grader. If it's not, we'll use what's here that's scheduled. If I think that's way too much writing and way too overwhelming, I will pull the same topics from that complete book of Maps and Geography that's more her age level and her grade level. We have Maps and Globes by Jack Knowlton. This currency kit, she's so excited to do this. This is from the deluxe package, and you do it like the exchange as you go to travel to different countries. So I thought that's like so cool, like her passport and her travel book and her currency exchange and all of that will be fun. This is Mcnally's Classroom Atlas. It's just a resource for us. We will also be getting the like World Book Online for her to do research this year. We also have another trip around the world, and this one is a trip around the world, and we'll be studying a lot of these countries on here. And those are like reproducible worksheets. And then we have Children's Atlas of God's World, this giant atlas as we study different cultures. So that is everything. It's a lot, I know, but it's most of what we'll be using for 4th grade. And we honestly probably won't start until October, and you can see why, because we add so much in and we do so much in our curriculums. Like as we do adventures, we're not just doing basic adventures, like we do a lot in it. We read a lot of books and we dig really deep and follow a lot of rabbit trails. So I hope it was helpful. I hope that you were able to get some ideas for your own curriculum for next year, and see how we are going to be doing 4th grade. So don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and stay tuned for lots of book hauls and lots of organization videos. And I'm gonna be like showing you how I'm organizing all this on my shelves, and I'm gonna do a folder system, and I will be digging through all of that. And I also have like my work boxes we do. I have a lot of ways I organize our day. So I'm going to be sharing a lot of that with you coming up, and I have probably like 5 book hauls that need to be put out there right now. So don't forget to hit the bell. See you next time.